What's up, guys? It's Coach Jordan. Welcome back to another Coffee with Coach, and today I'm going to be going over how I screen my way through the answer to the question of what is wrong with me. I wasn't able to go up and weight on my lifts this week. So this is usually like somebody did some snatches this week, and last week they did something similar, but this week they thought they'd be able to go up, and man, they just weren't able to go up this week, and they kept missing their snatches, okay? So the question is why? Maybe this has happened a few weeks in a row. It's like, why is this happening to me? Okay, well, I'm not a psychic, so I have to screen these things to help this person figure this out. So the first question is, what was last week's training like for you? Like, what would those snatches look like last week? And this is where a training journal becomes very, very useful. Really, the training journal is useful for all three of these screening questions. So keep that in mind. So were the weights feeling easy or hard? So how'd those snatches feel last week weight-wise? Were you smoking them and they felt like you could have gone up a bunch of weight? Were they just right? Like you hit them really well, but it was kind of tough to hit that third rep if we were doing triples. And then was your technique sharp? Like every lift looked the same. I was hitting all the things I've been working on really well. Like my knees are clearing back, getting the bar on my hips, all that stuff was good. Or was it just, I was kind of selling out to hit every single lift. Like I had to run forward. They were really rough. And then how's your consistency been in the gym? Did you miss a few days before that? Were you out of town the week prior and maybe had a really unintentional deload and did really, really well on week one, and now maybe week two you're just struggling a little bit more because of that? There's a lot of things that could be for that, but I need to know those things to give you a good answer, right? And you need to know those things to give you a good answer. So let's say the weight technique are good, training consistency is normal, then we go to external stressors. So question number 2, what do your external stressors look like right now? And again, this is where a training journal is very useful. So are you extra busy at work or school? Is your personal life more chaotic than usual? How's your sleep been? You getting less than you normally do? Or how's your food intake? Are you eating more poorly than you normally do? Right? So all those things matter. And again, this is about what's normal for you. It's not about me judging you because you only sleep 7 hours a night or only sleep 5 hours a night. Is it different than normal? Okay. So if the answer to all of those things is no, everything's normal like it normally is, and I'm still, missing these snatches today, well, what is the rest of your physical exertion volume looking like? So most people use their body more than the hour a day they're in the gym, right? And there's going to be a normal amount for you, and then there's going to be additional. So what we're looking for is there anything additional that you haven't been accounting for that could be adding some extra fatigue that you may not be recovering from appropriately. So it's pick up a rec league or school sport recently. A lot of times people start doing that and they don't really think about it, and it's great to do that. I want you to do that, but it can add some fatigue. Maybe you're starting to work on a labor-intensive DIY project. Maybe the kids are at a school and you're playing with them more around the house. Maybe you just signed up for a race or a weekend competition and you just did it and then came back in the gym and didn't take a day off or 2 days off to accommodate for that much extra hard work. Maybe you started running or doing extra work on top of your normal training and just weren't prepared for how much extra recovery you're going to need from that. Maybe you started recently, just lost a bunch of weight or gained a bunch of weight, and that's been part of your goal, but it does change the way that you train, so it's something you need to be aware of. And then maybe you just increase your days in the gym. Maybe you're someone that's fairly new, or you've been training for a long time and you just decided, hey, my schedule's opened up. I don't have to only train 3 times a week in the gym. Now I can train 5 times a week in the gym, and you're just not used to that new fatigue, and you just got to give your body a chance to recover a little bit more, right? And adapt to it. So let's talk about solutions. Maybe the weights did feel really hard last week and you're just being stubborn. There is nothing wrong with repeating weights 2 weeks in a row. Absolutely nothing wrong. It's just people put an arbitrary thing in their head where they have to go up the next week, right? Maybe I just made a poor choice. Maybe the percentage range that was listed, I just decided, you know what, I'm going straight to the top because baby, I want to get strong. And you're like, the next week it's like, hey, I can't hit the top percentage. Well, the work you did the week before was really, really hard, and you grinded through every single rep, and your body is just not going to let you jump like that. The weights we choose are inside of a range that elicit strength adaptations, but we can't exceed that range, and it's very hard to recover from it when you do. So sometimes the best thing you can do is repeat the weight or even go a little bit lighter so that the following week's training is better. The worst thing you could do in that situation is just keep grinding and missing reps and making your life a living heck. So the next question is if the technique wasn't sharp, why are you even trying to go up in weight? Honestly, like, do you want to get better or do you want to get worse? That's the question you should ask yourself every single time when you're having a difficult time improving some technique on something is, if I'm not going to take the time to work on the technique, should I really expect to get better? Okay. That's just real talk. Okay. If your coaches continue to tell you that your knees aren't getting back the whole way, you got to take the time to figure it out. And if you don't understand what they're telling you, take the time to ask questions. That's what we're here for. If your consistency's been off, let's figure out how to get you back on your normal level of consistency. Okay? All that stuff just takes time and paying attention to what you're actually doing. As far as external stressors, you might just have to back off in the gym a little bit. That's okay. What a lot of people try to do is they just try to add, and you can add your way into an injury, okay? Or work yourself so hard at the line all the time that you're just checking a box being in the gym training and you don't actually improve because all you're doing is just clocking in bad reps, never bringing a good attitude to your training, right? And so the worst thing you can do is to start to project your external stressors on your training. All it does is make you not enjoy your training anymore. So my answer to external stressors being high is back off. Do less better. If you're doing extra work and work is chaos, life is chaos, stop doing the extra work for a little bit and just focus on class and bring the best attitude you can bring to your class. And I guarantee you it'll help bring your stress down and your training will be better and you'll get more out of it, okay? Don't beat your head through a wall thinking that that's the answer to your external stress. The answer to your external stress is dealing with your external stress, right? And then finally, if your physical exertion volume is higher than normal, you just got to back off. Your training should be conducive to you being able to do those things, right? And especially if these things are more important to you than your training, so like this is why you're training, never be afraid to back off your training just a little bit. And same thing, do less better. That's the best thing that you can do. If the quality of your presence you're bringing to your training is poor, the results you'll get from it, no matter what you're doing or where, is going to be poor. You can't just check a box when you're training. You got to be intentional and get the most out of it, right? So it's all about what your goals are. Take a step back, make sure you're training towards your goals. You're not just training arbitrarily, and be honest with yourself. Take the time to start journaling. If this is you right now, let's figure out where it's coming from and let's make some improvements. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful. Happy to talk more about this. We'll see you guys in the gym.